Hello, America. Welcome to America's Healthcare Advocate. In studio with me today, we're going to do a couple of interviews with Jason Rapert, the founder and president of the National Association of Christian Lawmakers. Welcome, Jason. Happy to have you on today.
Thank you for having me on, Kerry. We appreciate what you do and appreciate your voice across the country, sir.
Well, tell us a little bit about our audience, a little bit about the National Association of Christian Lawmakers. As I said, you're the founder and you're the president. You and I have spoken extensively about your program and all that you do, but I want to give an overview of the audience, if you will, the 30,000-foot level of what the National Association of Christian Lawmakers, what you all do. Jason?
Well, as you know, the Bible says in Psalm 33:12, "Blessed is the nation whose God is the Lord." Well, Kerry, how are we going to have a godly nation if we do not have godly leaders? And so after having served 12 years in the Arkansas State Senate, by the way, the first Republican elected in my district there since the Civil War in my state, I saw that it was important that we have more Christians serving in office. And so through my service in the Arkansas Senate, I carried the nation's first heartbeat bill that was passed in 2013, carried the Arkansas 10 Commandments monument that we passed in 2015, put up in 2017, still battling, by the way, with the American Atheists, the American Humanists, the Freedom from Religion Foundation, the ACLU, and the Satanic Temple that all say that Arkansas must take that down. They're not going to win. But you see that even in that battle that we still have a situation in our country today where our Judeo-Christian values have been under attack. And so I begin to ask a question of many of the leaders around the country as a part of that, Kerry. Why do we not have a national association of Christian lawmakers? I mean, we've got radio associations. We've got even catfish associations in this country.
I didn't know about the catfish, Jason.
Got to be in the South to get that, Kerry.
Okay.
So absolutely, whatever your interest, there's an association to advocate for you. And as I began to ask that, I sat down with Governor Mike Huckabee. He said, Jason, you need to start this. You need to get it going. Congressman Bob McEwen of Ohio, that's now the director of the Council for National Policy, he said you need to do it. Tony Perkins, Family Research Council, said this is an organization whose time has come. And so in 2019, we actually formed the entity. And in the throes of COVID, in August of 2020, we gathered in Florida because it's the only place that would allow us to gather at the time, pretty much. We gathered and launched the NACL. And by the way, you have to love what the Lord does. He gives you these great gifts every now and then. The NACL acronym is the scientific symbol of salt. We're to be salt and light wherever we go. So we formed the entity, and since that time, it, by the way, is the first formally organized association of Christian elected officials in the country. We now have members and supporters in all 50 states, and we have 36 states, Kerry, where there is a state senator or a state representative that actually is the state chair for that state. The NACL is what is called a para-legislative organization, meaning that you have elected officials that are part of the entity, that run the entity, but it's not the government. And so in this arena, there are a lot of such entities out there. If people have been involved in the state legislatures, they're aware of ALEC or NCSL or NCOIL, et cetera. Well, the National Association of Christian Lawmakers has 7 standing committees: Marriage and Family Committee, a Life Committee, Local State Federal Relations Committee, Standing Committee on America, Israel, etc. And they take up every single important issue that we see facing our country, and they discuss that and try to promulgate policies that they believe represents, or at least does not violate, a biblical worldview. So since the entity formed, we actually have had 7 national face-to-face meetings. We're about to have our 8th, literally December 13th and 14th, 2024 in Scottsdale, Arizona. That is our annual meeting and awards gala where they will meet to discuss many significant issues. There will be a huge discussion on the abortion amendments that we saw on the ballot in many of our states around the country. Interestingly enough, for those in healthcare, there will be a discussion of health share ministries, which is an alternative that many people have used in that space. And so it's really got something for everyone. But what's most important is that we have seen what 50 years of ungodly leaders passing ungodly laws has done to our nation. And we believe it's time to return to the foundational principles that our founding fathers gave us in the Declaration of Independence when they said, we are endowed by our Creator with certain unalienable rights. Kerry, they named God 4 different times. They called him the Creator. They called him the supreme judge of the world. They called him nature's God, and they called him Divine Providence, all in that one missional document that told the world why America had a right to exist. And just as they cast that vision, we at the NACL have said, it's time that Christians not only get out and vote and pray, but they run for school boards, they run for city councils, and they run for Congress. And so we would love for people to go out to christianlawmakers.com, Kerry, where they can learn all about what we're doing, engage with us. We have a weekly prayer call every single Tuesday at noon Eastern, where we have a modern day appeal to heaven for the things going on in our country. And you can also engage in our meetings and become a member and get involved. And we just appreciate you for making time to hear about the NACL and letting people know how they can get involved.
Well, thank you very much for that, Jason. You know, if you want to get involved, if your church wants to get involved and support these folks, you can certainly go to the website, christianlawmakers.com. If your civic group wants to get involved, maybe you've got a civic group that would like to get involved in a program like this, these folks are there. I'm certain they'd be happy to have you involved and probably be happy to get some donations if there are folks out there that want to donate to this organization to help them further their agenda of bringing this country closer to what it should have been over the last 10 years, and it hasn't been. So again, the website is christianlawmakers.com, christianlawmakers.com. Thank you very much, Jason.
Thank you so much, Kerry.
I'm Kerry Hall, and now you know.